Okay, welcome to the Tuesday show. I am Ultra David.
I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
So apparently Twitch is trying out some new player, and people have said that it's skipping and crappy if you watch on source quality, but that if you turn it on to high quality, or presumably one of the other qualities, that things are A-okay. So if it is skipping for you, you might want to try that out, see how it goes.
Yep. Okay, well, so that's just our excuse to get you to use lower quality settings so you can't tell how crappy our banner is. and low res our banner is, really. So.
By the way, did you get the email from somebody who, remade it?
Someone told me that they were going to try or something like that.
Yeah, there's an email in there. You should...
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
there
okay.
is,
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to try to presumably do all that stuff over the holiday break, so... Because, I mean, for all logic and speaking, this is probably the last Tuesday show until January.
I'm not going to be here next week, so
Right,
yeah.
but the Tuesday show, because next Tuesday is Christmas Eve, following Tuesday is New Year's Eve, so most likely we won't be back until January.
That's right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
It's not that long to wait, folks.
No,
it's just a couple
hopefully
weeks.
by
And
then
then
I'll try to get an HD banner to go with our new HD settings.
that would be
and stuff
nice.
like
That would be
yeah.
nice. Let's get on to talking about stuff.
Yes.
This last weekend was the Capcom Cup, Capcom Cup 2013.
Yes, the inaugural Capcom Cup.
Hopefully the first of many. We'll see. In it were Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Street Fighter 4. There was even an Ultra Street Fighter 4 exhibition.
Yep.
And I thought all the tournaments went well, so we went there. We commentated.
A few things, yeah.
And hopefully people enjoyed the stream.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I had
from
a
your
great
from your position being there, what did you think? Just before we get into the results.
I thought it was really good. Hans
Okay.
even tweeted just recently it was probably one of the top, top 3 tournaments he's ever been to. It was really exciting, and it ran really well.
Yeah.
Everything kind of panned out properly. The Street Fighter 4 matches were super hype. Tampa Bison did well for the online qualifiers.
In Cross, yeah.
Yeah, and Yipes, vindicated the vote for hype factor, so
For sure.
it worked out, and it was really, really exciting. In fact, the only thing that probably wasn't too super exciting was the Ultra demo, but that was just because everyone was trying to learn it, and PR Rod couldn't land an Ultra to save his life, so,
I didn't even watch it, actually.
He was using Elena. He tried so hard to land the Ultra so many times.
Which
he did
Ultra?
The Brave Dance.
Really?
He landed the EX...
Leggy legs?
The little pommel horse thing, right? Then he did the Ultra too slow. He did Crumple, he dashed up, he Ultra'd but got Super Jump, or he just got regular Jump instead. Dude, he could not land an Ultra to save his life, dude.
Well, in the previous test, if you recall, Hugo had a bunch of moves that were overlapping in commands. Maybe
Yeah.
Elena had some issue, too.
Could be.
I don't know. I had a blast. We got there Friday night, pretty much went to sleep. As soon as we got into the hotel, I woke up at 8, got down to the commentary floor at about 9, and Ultra Street Fighter 4 was there. There were 8 or 9 setups, maybe?
Yeah.
Quite a few. And I got there before everybody got in,
Uh-huh.
and I just didn't think about playing.
No, I was about to say.
swear.
I was like, dude, you could have had the machine to yourself.
For 10 minutes. But instead what I did was I had a muffin, and I was eating the muffin, and I was watching Combo Fiend and Mike Ross play a little bit, and I was just like,
They got you
whatever.
with the players' room
Who
food,
knows?
huh?
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that. But as a result, I actually didn't get to play Ultra at all.
I didn't touch it.
Did not
single
touch
bit.
Ultra SF4. I was really hoping that we would get a secret opportunity after
Right?
commentary or something, because we were
exactly.
busy. But no, we did not. As far as the actual tournament goes, I really liked Cross. I like that game in general. I was disappointed that the online qualifiers didn't do as well as I had hoped they would. Again, we'll get into the results in just a bit, but just an overview. But I was happy for Tampa Bison, and Infiltration seems like he is the best player in the world, so no big issue that he won it. In Marvel, oh man, I was so hyped for Marvel. There was a period of time where I was so hyped for Marvel. And then there was also a period of time where I could not cheer. I had no energy to cheer for a good 5 or 6 matches or games.
And it happened to everybody, too.
Everybody.
Dude, the room...
Silence in the room.
Yeah, so in case if you guys missed it, you messed up, 1, right? And 2, Justin's pixel short comeback on Chris G. Like, the amount of tension and just energy in the room, and then Chris G won, and then it was just like...
For, like, the next half a dozen games. Whoever came up to play after that, I don't even remember who it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember who it was? I don't.
It doesn't... Yeah, no, everybody was just
Nobody.
like...
I wasn't even paying attention. I was just, like, tweeting on my phone and being emo about it.
Yeah,
but anyway, it was
Yipes
awesome.
brought it back, though.
And then Yipes brought it back. Yeah, we
so.
all hitched our hype wagons to Yipes, and he did a pretty good job with that. And then in Street Fighter 4, you know, all those players were awesome. All the matches were awesome.
Dude, like... Half of them went the max rounds possible, I swear.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. I lost like $70 or $75 money match or side betting.
Yeah. And, I told myself I can never side bet on a match because I could not do that to the person I bet on because I guarantee whoever I bet on will lose. Like, I will jinx them that bad.
Yeah, the jinx?
Yo, dude, I told you, my luck and my betting is like... I'm the worst at it, so I don't even try.
Okay.
I don't even try, so.
Okay. And the event ended pretty early for a tournament. Usually we are doing tournament stuff until like 10 or 12 or 1 or 2 in some cases.
Or if it's Wednesday night fights and the run back till 3.
Yeah, that's true. But no, this ended at about 8 or 8:30, and so we had plenty of time to hang out that night, which was great. So anyway, for me it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it.
I had a blast. It's been a while since we've had a nice one-day event.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. That was also very nice, too. So, I hope it keeps going, man, because, I'd love to see it. And, I hope Capcom Japan was watching very closely. Obviously, Ono was there, So I hope they see the kind of hype that these events bring so that they'll try to do a lot more in supporting the tournament scene.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, let's go through the results. So
sure.
Might as well start with Cross Tekken, then we'll go to Marvel, then Street Fighter, just as was the order on Saturday. First place was Infiltration. He played with Jin and Elisa. Second place was Tampa Bison with Bison Rolento. Justin Wong was third with Hwarong Chun, then Valle with Yoshi Lars. Fifth was Knuckle Dew with Guile Geef. Ramos with Vega and Cammy was also fifth. Then tied for seventh were the Zombie Driver with Hwarong Nina, and KS Korn Seth Lolol with La Kuma.
Yeah.
So, if you don't remember, this was a matchup between, so-called tournament veterans and online qualifiers. All the players who were online qualifiers, they have all played in tournaments, and a couple of them have done really well in tournaments. Tampa Bison has won a major, Seth has. So,
and not only that, but Tampa Bison's been playing since Alpha 3. I think he told me he started with Alpha 3.
You guys were talking about Alpha 3 for a while, so that makes sense. At the start, I had thought that Tampa Bison had a pretty good chance against Alex Valle. I just liked the way that the teams matched up, and I liked the way that the play styles matched up for Tampa Bison. But Alex won it 2-0. Infiltration blew up the Zombie Driver. Man, I'm so sad for the Zombie Driver.
Yeah, I'm sad for both of the 7th place guys.
Yeah,
you talk about
Seth and the Zombie Driver. That's true. There were a couple of rounds where the Zombie Driver was playing offense with Hwarong, and he was doing all these cool tricks and rushing down and really, really pressure heavy, in your face gimmicks, really cool stuff. And he was doing what he wanted to do, but you could tell that for the most part he just was too nervous.
Yeah,
he's too nervous, and it wasn't even just that he was playing against Infiltration, because he did the same thing in the next round, where he again had one round of being all about it, and then the others he just couldn't put it together. And I know he's better than that. I've seen him play online.
Yeah, he's probably the one player that legitimately has mostly only played online, right? He hasn't played very much offline, or has he been to tournaments?
He has been to tournaments, but he hasn't competed on a top level in the way that the tournament veterans and Tampa Bison and Seth and stuff have.
Okay.
Knuckle Dew versus Seth Lolol. I also thought this was a win for Seth.
Dude,
character matchup. I like the player matchup, and he got 2-1. You know, it wasn't a blow up, but NuckleDu took it.
Seth, I mean, he was pretty much like the online player's hope. You know, they pinned a lot on him.
Yes.
And, you know, I guarantee, so before the tournament started, you set up a bunch of fantasy brackets just for fun, right? I can guarantee you Seth going 0-2 blew up 100% of the brackets.
Totally possible.
Like, if anybody had Seth Lawlall going 0-2 in their fantasy brackets, it was because they hate Seth Lawlall, and they wanted it to happen, right? Otherwise, there's no way anybody would have predicted that because he had so much. He was third place last year at the 25th tournament, and he was one of the only players throughout all of 2013 to have beaten Infiltration in Cross Tekken. So he was riding high, and unfortunately, it just didn't come through for him. So
no, it didn't, and. You know, then he lost immediately after that to Ramos, guy he plays all the time. What's up?
Actually, that's right. Someone mentioned something. So, I saw a lot of people getting on Seth Lawlall's case because in the first round of losers bracket, he played against Ramos, who is known for not playing with gems.
Right.
Ramos does not like using gems.
Right.
So, in a gentleman's agreement, Seth also did not use gems.
Yeah, that's true.
And his team is built largely around that, right?
He has setups with gems where he brings in Bear with, you know, two damage gems going, and he like gets his super and stuff. Does a million damage.
Do you feel like that was a mistake?
Of course, I feel like it was a mistake.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
After the tournament, I was talking with Ramos. We were in the little players' lounge thing, and he said, you know, man, when I was playing, I think it was Valle, if I recall correctly, it was Valle.
Yeah.
He tried to get Alex to not use gems, and Alex was like, no. No way.
You cannot do that to an old school arcade warrior.
And Ramos was like, he wasn't upset about it per se, but like he would have preferred if Alex had done that. And I was like, dude, you can't expect that. Like I would have picked gems, and Tampa Bison was like, he was hanging out there. He was like, I would have picked gems too, and like.
Dude, I would.
Of course.
Dude, I would have just said to him like, you pulled a fast one, getting Seth not to pick gems.
Yeah.
You know, no way you're gonna pull that on Alex. Alex Valle, too old school, dude. I mean, this is a perfect example of how tournament players worked in the old arcade days. Okay, this is another one of those James Chen old man stories, right? If you were at the tournament playing a bunch of times and you knew one side wasn't as sensitive as the other,
yeah,
and then somebody else came and for your opponent when the tournament started and he hadn't played on it, you would pick the side that you knew was better.
For sure.
You wouldn't tell him that the down back was a little iffy on one particular side.
No.
There's no way. You would win with ever...
Even if it wasn't a major or anything. It was just like some tournament, weekly tournament.
Just a weekly, dude. Yeah. So, yeah. There's no way you're going to get Vi not to use gems.
So he didn't.
No way. Yeah.
He didn't. Anyway, Ramos beat Seth. So bad news for Seth. Good job for Ramos to move on. Zombie Driver went 0-2 again against Tampa Bison. And then Tampa Bison started this kind of march through losers. So Infiltration then beat Alex. Justin beat NuckleDu to set up the winners finals. That was probably either the most called or the second most called in the fantasy brackets is my guess. But in the meantime, in losers, Tampa Bison beat Zombie Driver. He beat NuckleDu. He beat Alex Valle 2-0 in a rematch from the first round where he seemed to have learned all the things that went wrong in the previous match. He was blocking the overheads correctly. He had awesome spacings, just like perfect play. That was in, and then he beat Justin Wong in losers finals.
Yep.
So he set up a grand finals, him versus Infiltration. He was another one of the guys who beat Infiltration this past year in Cross Tekken. He sent Infiltration to losers at final round.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is where Seth eliminated him.
Okay.
Or maybe it was vice versa, but they both beat him at final round.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he could have done it. I mean, he has done it in the past. But, Infiltration just had too much stuff going for him. He had just amazing control of the corner. He had excellent reads. His raw launches were amazing. It was doing everything right. So it wasn't. It was a big uphill battle. It's a big uphill battle.
Is Elisa considered one of the best characters in the game?
Dude, you know what? You know what the interesting thing about this tournament is that we should probably redo the tier list.
Because
in this game.
every time I watch Elisa, I'm just like, this is the character I would play if I picked up the game again.
Really?
Because she has the EX move where she charges forward,
Yeah.
which is invincible and is safe.
Yep.
She's like one of the only good wake-up safe moves, right? I mean...
It's not that great of a wake-up, really. But, yeah, it's safe.
And not only that, but it's also very easy tag cancel, too.
Yeah.
Because she hits you a bunch of times. And all of her chainsaws do chip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this just,
build a lot of meter at the same time.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, she seems
She has great
really
corner control.
good.
She has good zoning. She has good damage output. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a really good character. I would have said that the top 5 before was something like Nina, Hwoarang, Jin, maybe like Kazuya if you have purple stuff. I don't know, like maybe Chun. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But I probably wouldn't have said Elisa. I wouldn't have said Bison. I wouldn't have said Rolento. But those were 3 of the top 4 characters in this. And then Justin had Hwoarang, Chun, 2 super awesome characters. But then in loser semis, Alex Vaya had Yoshi Lars. And this whole 8 player thing had 14 different characters used.
Right.
So I guess it's might not be as top heavy as I had thought, and maybe I got the top tier wrong in general.
That's what a lot of people said. A lot of people agreed with your
Yeah.
original list,
Yeah.
right? So who knows?
Yeah,
Who
no,
knows at
I
this
think
point,
a
so.
lot of us might have gotten that wrong.
Okay.
So, but it was a really cool tournament. It did run over a little bit, but in terms of time, but the play styles were really cool, I thought. So some players had like really in your face. Infiltration was like all about this corner control. It was like get you to the corner control. And Alex is all about like kind of trickiness and getting a bar for Yoshi, and then it's like high-low mix-up, or Lars doing side-to-side mix-ups and cool stuff. Tampa Bison is a slow player who has some cool damage combos and some cool setups. Justin is like the maximum turtle.
He's classic Justin.
Totally
Third
classic
strike
Justin.
Chun Justin.
Totally classic Justin. And let's see. Seth has a lot of varied stuff he can do. His bear's really interesting. Ramos has really cool looking combos. Really interesting looking stuff. Combo Fiend was kind of going nuts for those, as you might expect. He's Combo Fiend.
Yeah.
So, all the players there had different teams, different play styles, lots of variety. I really liked it.
Yeah, like I said, I was just really happy that Tampa Bison got second place. Because, I mean, the first round was literally the invites all beating the online qualifiers.
Yeah.
It was 4-0, right?
Yes, it was.
And then the online qualifiers had to beat each other. So, in other words, 2 of the online qualifiers had to go 0-2. And then there was only 2 left, and at that point you were thinking that they were just gonna go, the last 2 guys were gonna go 1-2, and then I mean like we said earlier, Tampa Bison's not just an online player; he's not someone who's come from nowhere. But it was good to see one of the online qualifiers work his way up all the way to grand finals again. So,
Definitely agree with that. Mm-hmm. So that was a really cool tournament. Man, I hope I get to see that game more often, but I do not expect it, to be perfectly honest. Up next was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And this was won by Chris G. What, you want to take a break? Yeah, sure, let's do that before we get into Marvel 3. We'll be back in just a bit.
Okay.
That was like the perfect time to stop in that song.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I put it on. It's the minute waltz, right? It's fast. So.
Well, James Chen.
There you go.
Let's move on in talking about Capcom Cup from this past weekend.
Let's see the cat.
The little cat. Yeah. There's a cat. I was just saying during the break, too, that the cats were being quiet. And
he heard you, and then he was like, oh, quiet, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you.
Good job, Nathan.
Yeah.
Ultimate Marvel 3 winner, Chris G. Did you see the guy who brought the sign that said, spoiler, Chris G wins, lol.
Really? That's awesome.
That's pretty clever. Well, not clever, awesome. But it was funny. He won with more Doom Virgil. Yipes got second place, though. Spencer, Virgil, Hawkeye. Dante, Virgil, Magneto. Wesker, Dante. Spencer, really? Was that the team order? I don't remember. Filipino champ with Magneto, Doom, Phoenix, and Magneto, Dorm, Doom. Nemo got fourth place with Nova, Strange, Spencer, a.k.a. Team Nemo. Justin Wong got 5th with Wolvie Storm Akuma and Wolverine Spencer Frank. Abigail also 5th. Tron, Thor, She-Hulk tied for 7th were Marlin Pie with Viper Doom Amy. And King Blue River with Hulk Hagar Sentinel, Big Sent, playing drones.
Yeah.
So, neither of us was commentating for this, so we were both able to sit in the crowd and actually watch it and cheer and stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah, and I said this on Twitter like at least 2 or 3 times. But if you've never sat and watched Marvel with PR Balrog standing 3 feet from you, you haven't lived yet.
It's pretty funny.
Seriously, the most entertaining. Because, like, you know, when you're far away, you could see him, like, he dances to all the combos. Like, when you're doing Impact Flames, he's just like, ooh.
You know how Yipes will go like, ooh, ooh, ooh. He does that with his body instead of his mouth. He goes like, ooh.
But then
he's like dancing around the whole time.
The funny thing is when he's not doing that, just the stuff that he even says just, like, cracks me up constantly. Yeah. The guy is just, like, pure entertainment. I don't. Anytime I watch a Marvel tournament, if I'm not doing commentary, I'm gonna find Eduardo and just like run up to him and sit next to him because he is the most. He's hilarious. So
he's definitely hilarious, and it's always cool to just see a Marvel crowd in general. It's loud and and very bet heavy.
Yeah.
And,
it was silent for a short period of time.
Oh, it was. Okay, so let's get to the results. Let's talk about them.
Let's go from bottom up.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
first round.
Yeah, I mean, so tied for 7th. I mean, was Kane Blue River, right? And the guy just psyched himself out so much for this event.
He really did. So first game that he played was against Justin. If you didn't see, as he walked up to the stage, as he was sitting down, he actually had tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
Tears in his eyes. I talked to him before the match a couple of times, and he was so nervous. And it's not that he was so nervous about playing the players he was playing against. You know, he's done well in the past, okay? But he was nervous because he viewed this as being like the culmination.
That's the exact word I was thinking.
Of the last couple of years of him giving up a lot of stuff. Physical stuff in terms of him like selling off possessions to travel around the world.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, relationships and whatever he had business-wise going on. And just he has put his life on hold in order to pursue playing video games well, you know? And not just Marvel, by the way, if that's what you're thinking. He wants to be good at literally every game. But Marvel's the game that he's gotten good in first. So as he was sitting up there, I think that all just came to him. You know, he just psyched himself out. Too much.
You could see it in the second match when he played against Abigail. He won the first 2 games pretty solidly, and then the next 2 games he proceeded to get happy birthday. And then you could just tell by the last game, it just kind of caught up to him at that point. So,
totally.
But, I mean, I talked to him as well, and I told him, I was like, look, like, you're saying that this is a culmination, like, this is his chance, right? And I was like, you know, the people voted you in here.
Yeah.
They didn't vote in the Evo champion, okay? You got voted in here. You're obviously doing something right.
Right.
And I said to him, you are not going anywhere, no matter how you perform in this tournament. I mean, right now he's traveling to Japan. He's going to be there for like 2 months until SCR or something like that, so he can get good at Street Fighter and all these other games and play all the Marvel guys over there.
Tekken,
and everything.
he was telling me about.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, he's going to be around for a while. I hope he doesn't view it like, oh my God, I blew my chance, you know, because he's got plenty of chances. He's fine, you know. He'll come back stronger than ever. And this is just going to be one of those things, right? It's like watching sports. Whenever you get to the finals, like last year NBA, you know, when Oklahoma City got there against Miami, they just got blown up, right? So, well, actually, that wasn't last year. That was the year before that. It was the first time they got there. They beat up everyone there, but it was their first NBA Finals. You could tell they were nervous. They couldn't play well, and then they lost, right? It always takes that one kind of crushing defeat to really push you into the championship mode. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, this was that. Nemo beat Marlin Pie to start off with. I don't think that was a surprise to many people. Marlin Pie is really talented, but he hasn't been playing that much. He didn't make it out of his pool at NEC. Flo made it out of that pool.
Well, to be fair, Flo and Mike Ross and Ricky are like the best Marvel players, right?
As proved at CEO.
Exactly.
So that happened. And then a major, well, maybe not major upset, but certainly one of the more hype things of the night was when Yipes 3-0'd Filipino champ. Because before that was happening, everybody was talking about how F-Champ was just going to dunk Yipes.
Yeah, because Yipes hadn't been playing and all this other stuff.
He didn't even play at NEC.
Yeah.
Maybe that was because he was saving up. Maybe he was, I don't know, maybe he was just, he didn't want to show off. But in any case, nobody was expecting that.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was to the point where after he 3-0'd Filipino champ, that the first thing he did when he jumped up afterward was yell, "Who lost money?" A lot of people.
Yeah. He basically dropped the joystick, turned around, stared at the audience, like turned his back to the audience and raised his arms.
Yeah.
And when he was finally done popping off, when he jumped back in the audience, he's like, "Who lost money? Who lost money?"
Yeah. When he and F-Champ were playing, oh man, a lot of people were telling Champ, yelling to Champ, like, quit picking Phoenix in this matchup. Pick the dorm team. Pick the dorm team. There's something about F-Champ that is just too proud at times. Too proud at times. He does not want to switch. It happened to him later on too when he was playing. Who did he end up losing to ultimately?
Yipes.
Oh, to Yipes.
Yipes, yeah.
Like, that's right. Where it was the same kind of thing. People were just yelling at him like, you gotta switch it up, and he didn't do it. So I don't know what the deal is. That happened to him, if you recall, too, against King Blue River at NCR, where he picked the Ghost Rider team and it didn't work, and we went with it.
Yeah, there was no point for that at all. But
then Chris G beat Abigail. I was looking forward to seeing how Abigail dealt with that team. I don't think that it's a great matchup for him, but Tron has some ways to nullify fireballs, and Thor Beam is pretty solid to deal with that stuff if he gets a chance to get on screen. I just was looking forward to it, but it didn't go that well. And some people were calling for him to start Thor. Thor is the best character he has to deal with that stuff, but I feel like it's also personally his worst character, the character he's least effective with personally.
I see, gotcha.
So I just, I think he was right to play Tron Thor She-Hulk, but did not work out. Then F-Champ beat Marlon Pie and losers. Abigail beat King Blue River, as we were talking about. And winners, Yipes beat Nemo. That's right. So 3-2 Yipes over Nemo.
It's super close, by the way.
It was close.
It was close.
It was definitely close.
Very,
close.
very good match.
Yipes knows that team pretty well. He's played it in tournaments before, Team Nemo, so he knows the ins and outs of that.
Yeah, and he did a really interesting thing. He counterpicked very much.
That's right,
he picked the Wesker team that he had, right? And when I saw that, I was just like, this is weird, but I was sitting next to PR Balrog, right? He's like, Wesker counters bolts, the bolts assist from Strange, because you can standing H and shoot Strange from a screen away, which just stops it, so you don't have to deal with that mix-up. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a hard counter, but it was definitely something that, Yipes used his knowledge to be able to take out, one of Nemo's most effective pieces. So.
A lot of people were talking about, as I'm sure everybody's aware, Nemo being one of the big favorites to win this thing, one of the top 3 or 4, well, depending on how you look at it. And then Chris, that's right, this is where Chris beat Justin.
Yes.
Now, that makes me sad personally, because I was rooting for Justin just because he's my friend. But Chris, I also have to say, like, big congrats to Chris and good job to Chris, because it would have sucked for him if he had let that happen. Mm-hmm. Playing against Justin at EVO, he had some similar kinds of things, right? Justin made big comebacks on him. Chris had errors that Justin capitalized on, and Chris lost. Justin ultimately got second place at EVO. But this time, when it was almost there, when it almost happened again, this time Chris recovered and won. So, I mean, you have to give him...
Dude, he barely recovered. That was the single storm against an entire team.
X Factor list. No, she had X Factor first.
I could have swore she was X Factor list.
I think you're right, actually.
Because I remember watching that and just thinking to myself, "That's it."
I think that's true.
And then he just used 4 hailstorms in a row and killed Doom when he came in. And then he somehow touched Morgan and killed Morgan. No, it was Doom that he killed. Because Morgan was the last character that he had to fight
that's
against.
right,
yeah, so...
Yeah, that was crazy. But no, I mean, really, though, good job to Chris for overcoming that and not letting it happen to him again.
And also because Chris has lost a lot of confidence in his game just recently. He says, I mean, I talked to him before. He's just like, I've been playing like crap in the last few tournaments that I've been to and such. So, you know, he got it together. And, you know, that kind of a loss to Justin could be a major psychological blow to a player like Chris. And the fact that he came out of it, I think kind of fueled him for the rest of the tournament, because for the rest of the tournament, I felt like he just blew everybody up. So
then in the next round, Nemo beat Abigail. It was 3-0. And then F-Champ beat Justin Wong. That was also 3-0. I don't even remember that. I think that was during the period of time where I wasn't paying attention because I was just
Wait, which
too
one? Justin
down.
Lost to who?
To F-Champ.
F-Champ? Yeah, that was a 3-0.
I don't even recall.
F-Champ blew him up pretty bad. Because he had to play right away, remember? He
lost. Played right away?
Yeah, he didn't get out of the chair. He lost, and they had him stay there, and F-Champ came on. So he was already just completely mentally guard crushed, and then he had to play right away. So, yeah.
That's right. And then, like I said, Nemo beat Abigail. No huge surprise. Loser semifinals, F-Champ beat Nemo 3-2. I also don't really recall this because I think I was still...
You were gone for a while.
I was,
dude.
right?
I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell. You just had that blank, like, glazed
I was just, like, tweeting the whole time. So do you remember that?
So which one? Who's the 3-2?
F-Champ v Nemo 3-2.
Yeah. See, I don't even know if I remember that match all that well either. But I remember... Oh, no, I do remember watching that match. It was, like, back and forth. It was very close. And Yipes was... So Yipes just basically told me, I don't care who wins this tournament. I just don't want one of the Japanese players to win it because Marvel is our game, right?
Okay.
And he was sitting there cheering on F-Champ while he was going against Nemo. And I was just like... Does it kill you to have the words "Go F-Champ" come out of your mouth? He's like, no, I'm gonna root for him because I want US to beat
That's
Japan. Cool. So so he was cheering for him, and he was also giving him advice and stuff like that, yelling advice to him, and yeah, it was really close. I remember it kept going back and forth. So yeah.
Okie doke. Winners finals was Chris G versus Yipes, and Chris was actually using the Mordoom team, Mordoom Virgil. Yipes went with Dante, Virgil, Magnus. I was paying attention now. That's right. I was again watching this.
That's because Yipes was bringing everything back, right? So
Yeah.
Yipes was bringing the hype back for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Losers finals. Yipes again had to play against Filipino champ.
Yeah. And that one was much closer, but Yipes still was able to prevail in the end. And I kind of remember the last game, he had to make a comeback in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he managed to pull it out, and yeah, Yipes was definitely the story of the tournament, without question. So no one, was expecting him to do much because no one thought that he played that much. And he even told me too, right before he beat F-Champ the first time, he's like, you know what, I didn't even really practice for this.
Awesome.
So it was just in his. He was really spurred on by the fact that the people voted him in there. I mean, you saw it in all of his tweets afterwards. He was always like, this was for the people who voted me in here. I had to thank them. I had to play my hardest for them. And Yipes is a good player, man. So
yeah, he's a smart guy. No doubt about that. In grand finals, though, he lost to Chris G. Chris G beat him 3-1. I remember it being like a really competent win for Chris, like pretty solid stuff. And so Chris took the tournament. And then Flocker came out. I don't know about people at home, but that seemed kind of anticlimactic to me. That when Flocker came,
it did turn out that way.
Because I think I forgot about it, to be honest. I think that I just was thinking about it as a tournament and not as like, let's see who gets to play against Flocker. So Chris won the tournament, and I don't know. Like then Flocker walked up. Like,
well, I mean, to be fair, I felt like it was the same situation when Justin lost, right? That was super hype, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh. And then Yipes was blowing everyone up, and then Yipes lost, and we're like, oh. okay, the tournament's
maybe.
done.
Okay.
And then Flocker walked up, and yeah, I don't even know how many people were paying attention. I don't even remember that match at all.
I don't really
And
remember it either.
It was a first to 5.
Yeah, it was the first to 5. It was 5-2 though, pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the actual room were like already talking amongst themselves. Some people walked out to go play Ultra again.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
I apologize to Flocker for saying this, but one of the best things about the top 8 tournament was that there were no zeros in there. I have never made my hatred for that character a secret. Like,
That's true.
I cannot stand that character to save my life, because I just think he just makes the game really stupid. Like, he stupefies the game, like, more than any other character. And so I was just really glad to see him not there. And so when Flocker came up, I just like zero. I just didn't want to watch, you know? I'm not interested in that character, so I don't know.
For me, it's not that I'm not interested in that character. It was just the circumstances of the particular time.
Yeah.
I think you're right that it was after Yipes had lost, and I thought of it as being a tournament rather than who gets to play against the champion. So I don't know, but I still think that they kind of had to do it. You know, I still think it was good that they did it because Flocker won Evo. He's a super good player.
Yeah.
He won Evo and he wasn't in this top 8. So
yeah, but the sad part about it, honestly, though, is that Flocker was kind of screwed in this situation too, because he's walking in cold.
That's true. Yeah.
Chris G just like played like 5 games, right? 5 sets, and then he's like, "All right, I'm ready to go." Flocker, come on up. You know, you've been sitting here watching for like 2 hours. Let's play. And so it was really kind of unfair to Flocker.
Yeah.
And Chris G was the one who won that one 5-2. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Marvel?
I mean, do you want to talk about the potential delisting of it, or do you want to?
No, we'll do that separately.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.